This podcast is produced and managed by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, Australia's independent video and podcast company. We do the podcasting hard bits so you don't have to. We make podcasts easy. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com. www.kangaroofern.com.
Last week, we talked about how to identify toxic productivity and how it drains the joy out of our lives and makes us lose track of our bigger why. So today, we are zooming in on how to deal with toxic productivity before it takes over our lives. You are listening to episode 18 of Wellness Fridays with Coach Joy Karen.
Let's talk well-being and mental health. Whether you're an aspiring coach, content creator, or podcaster, you need to take care of yourself as well. Wellness Friday with Coach Joy Karen.
What's up, pod friends? It's me once again, Joy Karen, your creativity coach. Wellness Friday is a weekly show created for podcasters and content creators in mind. This show aims to talk about creativity, inspiration, and overall well-being so you can keep on doing what you love most. First, let me thank my podcast management group, Mika of Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, and of course to your amazing team for helping me out in this platform and for the opportunity to spread the spark of creativity all over. So more and more people will do what they love most as they hashtag sparkle within. Last week, we talked about how to identify toxic productivity and how it drains the joy out of our lives and makes us lose track of our bigger why. So today, we are zooming in on how to deal with toxic productivity before it takes over our lives. Toxic productivity. When did productivity become so sinister? Have you ever had that coworker who was endlessly busy? That every time you come up to them, it seems like they are always swamped, always glued to the computer, to their workstation, looking dead tired, and is rarely taking breaks. That never seemed attractive for me. I mean, I never wanted to be that kind of person or that kind of employee who was not able to even take a 10-minute break seriously. Productivity began as a harmless philosophy of continuous improvement. Then all of a sudden, it became sinister. Many confuse the meaning of productivity with self-worth. That if you do not improve, then you'd assume that you are worthless. It became so tangled and wound up so tightly that many cannot understand how to separate the two. So today, pod friends, we'll be going through 3 ways on how you can deal with toxic productivity. All right, let's start with the first one. First, redefine productivity. Toxic productivity is never sexy. It is not attractive and it doesn't add up to us looking good. It never is, and it never was, and it never will be. Take a look at how you understand productivity. Define it according to your own understanding. Can you remember the pandemic times? Can you still remember the onset of the pandemic? Most of us were on lockdown, right? And out of nowhere, have you seen this tweet or this post or even videos preaching about making the time during the lockdown worth it? And they're saying that if you haven't read a book, finished a book, or wrote a book, if you haven't learned a new skill, if you haven't pursued a passion project, then you don't really lack time. What you lack is discipline. That's so harsh. And It is, for me, the most absurd advice to give to anyone. Friends, it doesn't just undermine individual differences. That advice also lacks empathy. It is so heartless. Now, it is high time for us to take back the reins, pod friends. Give yourself the permission to redefine what productivity looks like for you. Because it may look like you cleaning up your workstation. It can be arranging your cupboard or organizing your books or your desktop or even cooking a meal. If you have done it, it adds up. It matters. You don't need to do big, big, big things each and every day just to say that you are productive. Because when you add up all those tasks, all those little tasks that you have done, you'll see that you have actually been quite productive. Again, pod friends, redefine your definition of productivity. How can you say that you are productive? Now let's go on to the second one. Get to know.
We will be right back.
Are you passionate to help other podcasters? Wanted to connect to growth minded podcasters and service providers? The Podcast Creators Society is now open for new member. Head over to www.podcastcreatorsociety.com/community. Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Maybe you already have one, but need a podcast manager to help you level up. We're here for either. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com, www.kangaroofern.com.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the show.
Yourself more. Can you remember your first date with your partner? During those times, you basically know very little about your partner, that you are so eager to ask questions, to be extra observant, and you're excited to know even the smallest quirk about them, right? Now imagine being like this towards yourself. I know it sounds awkward at first, I know, but give it a chance. Give it a chance. Rediscovering ourselves will always surprise us one way or another. And being intentional in getting to know more about who we are makes us understand ourselves even more, even better. In my journey, it helped me to have a coach to guide me in rediscovering myself and in navigating through my blind spots. And as we know more about who we are, or what we like, what we do not like, these things strengthens our integrity and self-identity, which then leads us to the next one. Number 3 is to review your goals and aspirations. Once you know more about yourself, now is the time that you can review your goals and aspirations in life. This helps us assess if our goals are aligned with what we truly want and where we truly want to go. It is a strong basis to know if our goals are set accordingly to what we truly want to achieve. Ask yourself if a goal that you have set is based on your own values, your own vision, or maybe it's based on another person's view and perception of you, because that can happen. Now, you can ask yourself, if you pursue a goal, because you want to do it? Or do you pursue a goal because you have to do it? Because, pod friends, there is a huge difference between those two statements. Dealing with toxic productivity is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. I know. And much like everything else, it is a process. And if you feel that you need help, there is always one available if you ask for it, if you look for it. Like a coach. You can reach out to coaches like me who can be your accountability partners in making sure that you are living your life to the fullest. That's it today, pod friends, and I hope this episode sparks something meaningful in you. If you'd like to listen more of Wellness Fridays with Coach Joy Karen, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to connect, and maybe you need a coach to help you sort out things, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Just go ahead and search Joy Karen, the Creativity Coach. I help multi-potentialite creatives sort out their multiple passions so they can finally finish what they have started from spark to finish. Friends, the conversation doesn't end here because it goes and continues on over to the Podcast Creator Society. The link is on the description. The Podcast Creator Society is a community of podcasters helping out podcasters so we can maximize this beautiful platform of sending our message across. You're also invited to join us at the Podcast Freelancers Hub. This is a space where you can connect with remarkable service providers from all over the world. Whether you need a virtual assistant, a podcast editor, a podcast manager, or whatever you need to make your life even easier and make your podcast stand out. Go ahead and join us at the Podcast Freelancers Hub. Now, if you feel that this episode is worth sharing, please do so. It will help us reach more podcasters and content creators who might be needing that spark of inspiration, creativity, and overall well-being. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week. But before I go, let me remind you to keep on doing what you love most, because that is how you #sparkle within. Bye, friends!
Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Maybe you already have one, but need a podcast manager to help you level up. We're here for either. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com. www.kangaroofern.com.